This could be the biggest event that has ever happened in Football Manager, period. Nothing else, not just on my channel, just in the entire history of Football Manager, is bigger than this. Stephen Gold, 5 finishing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's taken a while, but we've gone from 4 to 5. I mean, it's genuinely might be the happiest sight I've ever seen in Football Manager. I mean, how do I top this video? Should we end it without playing a game? Even if we win, it's going to be disappointing compared to this news. Oh, I love this man. He's playing quite well. He got Player of the Month. We should talk about that and more, but first, let's drop the intro. Yes, folks, how is it going? And welcome back to Park to Prem. This is episode number 39 with FC United. Today, we're taking on Oxford United. Oxford United, a team promoted with us last year. They are currently in 3rd. And Port Vale, another team we were promoted with last year, up in 6th. As for ourselves, we've had a pretty eventful start to the season. We sit in 9th. Lots of football to be played before the season is over. But by all accounts, all the promoted teams from League 2 doing very, very well. I feel like we are in a playoff hunt this year, suddenly. Now, since you were last here, the transfer window has slammed shut. A little bit of wheeling and dealing done, though, before it did close. And that wheeling and dealing was mostly Mohamed Ibrahim leaving the building. Sold for £180,000 to Wickham, who are in League 1 with us. They were in League, well, no, not even League, the CLICKBAIT League Championship. It's just the Championship, Jack. They were in the Championship. They got relegated. Ibrahim's gone to them now. They are struggling down in 22nd. We got £180,000 at Ibrahim, which I'll be honest, I think is absurd for a squad player. And I looked for a replacement, couldn't really find anyone to buy permanently. So then we've gone with this hottie, 28 years old, Kosovoan international. He is just better than Ibrahim, isn't he? He's on loan for a year, cheap wages, good business, helps out the finances a little bit, although we are already back in the red. Yes, that money that we managed to save up hasn't lasted very long. Besides that, though, not a huge amount of transfer business going on. I didn't feel a need to make any late panic buys. I feel like our squad is at a good size with good quality, and I think that kind of somewhat shows in the results. Of course, to start the season, a disappointing defeat against Charlton. They, since then, have gone on to be the runaway team at the top of the table, unbeaten in their first 10. They're very, very good. Suddenly, only losing 2-0 to them really doesn't seem that bad. But, to be honest, the month of August wasn't great for us. We lost in the EFL Cup against Mansfield Town. We then took on Bristol Rovers, where we did win 3-0, a convincing result, a clean sheet. We have been stringing together a fair few clean sheets since you were last here. We did, however, lose at home against Blackpool. Blackpool were in the Championship last year, got relegated. I'll be honest, we probably should have won this game. It finished 1-0 to them. We had chances. We didn't take them. Fortunately, this was a blip rather than a trend that emerged, our inability to score. Because as you can see, going into the month of September, the goals, they've started to come for the most part. We kicked things off with an away win against Barnsley, 6-0. This was mad. Stephen Gold got 2. He actually scored in the 80th minute, but it was disallowed. This was one of those games where we were 5-0 up at half-time and it felt like every single shot just went in. I'm sure we've all been in that situation. You know those games in Football Manager that just highlight goal, and nothing's kind of feels that different really in terms of what you're doing. You just feel like the game's being nice. This was that game. Barnsley, rubbish. From there, we had our first game in the EFL Trophy, a 2-0 win against Rochdale, and we followed that up with back-to-back draws against Wickham and Stockport County. Port Vale, the only defeat in the month of September. They were promoted with us last year. They caused us issues last year, to be fair. They've continued to cause us issues here. They beat us 2-0, but most recently we took on Salford, a fairly local team to ourselves. A 4-1 win. Stephen Gold did get a hat-trick in this one. Nesbitt also getting on the score sheet, and with this goal, Gold up to 6 goals in his last 5 games, an 8.58 rating. And as I already mentioned, he won Player of the Month. Yeah, very, very good player, Stephen Gold. And just to, remember, 5 finishing. It's there. I can't believe, every time I look at it, I just have to bring attention to it now. Yeah, am I making too big of a deal out of this? I don't think I am. If anything, I feel like I should be talking about it more. For real, I will try and not talk about it all the time, but it is kind of a big deal, isn't it? Just looking at how we've started for the season, Nesbitt and Gold really have been banging in the goals for us. In terms of assists, Darren Richards has come into the team and done really well. Started the first game of the season on the bench. However, Duffy did pick up a semi-long-term injury. He twisted his ankle, missed 3 weeks of action, and in his place, Richards really came into the team and did a really good job for us. Of course, we're not really running away at the top of the table or anything. We're cruising along in mid-table, but we've got goals in us. We seem to be creating a fair amount. Should be an interesting test today against Oxford. It does look like Colchester United and Charlton are running away at the top of the table. So for Oxford, this is a really, really big game to win. For us, I guess it's a chance to prove that we are a playoff-worthy team if we could dispatch of them. I'm aware, though, it's going to be a tricky one, especially away from home. Now, we aren't going to do a second game today after the Oxford match. It's going to be a midweek game against Liverpool, and they're under 23s. Can I just say it's against Liverpool? I want to put in the title of the video, We Play Liverpool, because that's a good title, isn't it? I'm going to do that. So if you've been clickbaited in by it, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Stick with me. I promise it'll be a good game. Of course, Liverpool's under 23s, like a few different Premier League under 23 teams, play in the EFL Trophy. If we just look at the FC United profile, you can see here, fierce rivals, Leeds United, Liverpool, Man City. This is going to be our first time taking on one of these fierce rivals. So for today's game, this is the team that we're going to go with. Just one change from what I consider our best 11, and that is Richards coming in for Duffy. As I mentioned, Richards has really impressed me during his recent run of games, so he gets picked. Just looking at the team that is starting today, based on their form over the last 5 games, you can see here, it's been a really good sequence of performances by the entire team, hoping we can carry a little bit of that good form into this game against Oxford. This is a tricky game though, away from home, can't expect it to be a gift, but I don't know, I back us. We've been getting goals lately, and I do feel like Oxford are overperforming in the league, whereas some of the teams that we've taken on have been more tricky games. I feel like that's just me making an excuse, but I do feel like our strength of schedule has been tough. That Charlton game at the start of the year was actually way trickier than I think I actually appreciated. When we lost it 2-0, I kind of felt disappointed and like we could have done more. And, well, having now seen how Charlton have done in the league, it does lead me to believe that we are a good team. We are capable of scoring. Probably should have scored that chance we just had there. Nesbitt with an effort from point-blank range forced the keeper to make a stop. Richards in the middle for us. Back to Soul, who did score a banger, actually, for his first goal at the club. He's involved in the build-up play here. And while Nesbitt very nearly scored a banger of his own, a shot from range hits the crossbar and goes over. We have got a corner now, though. It's going to be Thomas Sang, and it's into Stephen Gold, the goal number 7 of the season. I'm not sure how many of those have been in League One, but if there was question marks over, is Stephen Gold good enough for this level? He's got 5 finishing. He's got a lot of goals this year. He got Player of the Month last month. I mean, maybe he's going to try and get it successive months in a row. It's a great start, and well, we could have another chance here. It's another corner. It's Quansah on this occasion, and Norman plucks the ball out the air, makes a really good stop. Of course, I feel like during our lower league adventures, set pieces were a big part of our game, especially at Three Bridges where, you know, there's defenders that aren't very tall, and if you have someone who's good at jumping and good at heading, you can kind of just make the most of them. I definitely feel like that is way less of a factor as we've climbed up the league. Just kind of naturally, defenders can mark better. They seem to just be better at jumping and better at heading. And so those kind of corner goals that were definitely a big element of our game, they're not as easy to come by. So it's nice to see us score an early one here. What would be nice is to see us score from open play now, though, because O'Donnell, down the far side, the former Celtic man, can't beat the first man. And, well, Oxford going to get the ball away and then just give it to Thomas Sang. Butterworth hits it from range. Oh, my word. Ross Butterworth. Captain Fantastic. Someone go fetch his cape. What was that? What was that? That was a crazy finish from range. It was kind of looping. It wasn't hit with loads of power. I think the keeper even got a hand to it, but he couldn't stop it going in. Tips it against the post. It goes in. A goal from outside the box. We're 2 goals up halfway through the first half. And for a team in 3rd place, Oxford looking very, very average at home. And you might have seen the live league table there. We're currently up to 5th. And now we've got a free kick. Regan Booty can score these. Can he score this one? He can't. Maybe I'm getting carried away a little bit. That effort just over the bar. Throwing on the far side for Oxford here. They're going to look to get the ball into the middle. Musa heads it against the bar. Richards is given the ball by Quansah, and clearly he did not want the ball there. Absolutely no nonsense. Boots it out into touch. We are now going to have a corner to deal with that is going to be whipped in. It's a free header. Shoddy marking by us, but The header over the bar. Well, I was about to say I'd happily go in at the break at 2-0 up, but that's not what could happen here, because with 5 minutes left of the half, Oxford on the attack again. Baker Boatley is it with the ball, hits it, finds the bottom corner. I said Baker Boatley. It's Baker Boaty? Answers on a postcard. Baker, if you're watching, please let me know how to say your name. Threaded through by Twine. The defending there, suspect at best. And in the end, it was a relatively simple finish. A clean sheet we are not going to keep today. And I feel like we have to get a bit shouty with the players. A demand more. We can't afford to concede another before half-time. All in all, really, really good first half for us. We've not given them all that many opportunities. Bit of a shame we did concede that one just before the break. A minute into the second half, and the fact that Oxford are in possession scares me. This isn't what I want to see. I feel like they've stepped up their game with that goal, and while Twine could find himself through on goal, that effort just wide of the post, but Oxford looking more hungry than us all of a sudden. This is the kind of game where we're struggling for possession, and I kind of want to try and, I don't know, hold on to the ball a little bit more, lower the tempo, play it out from the back, just try and wrestle a bit more possession. We had a really good start to this game, but Oxford have kind of got the wind in their sails. If we can keep the ball, I feel like we can kill their momentum that's building. And I do feel like we do have the technical quality at this level to pass it around. We have a lot of centre mids with plenty of passing ability. And while that may well be on show here as the ball is whipped in and Ross Butterworth gets number 2 for the game for him. His first was an iconic long shot. He scored a few of those, the captain, over his time at the club. And while on that occasion, the 22-year-old midfielder, he's not a giant amongst men, but on that occasion, an uncontested header, his run from deep was not picked up, a great header on goal, keeper couldn't react, we reinstate our lead, and while those little tactical tweaks, I was about to say, seem to have worked for us, but of course, Football Manager is listening, and now we have a kick-off highlight. Kick-off highlights are great when they go in your favour. When you get concede from one, it just makes you feel sad, doesn't it? Speaking of which, Oxford are in possession, bringing the ball forward here. Taiwo with the ball, gives it back to Dembele. Gordon at centre-back on a booking, as is Long at right-back for Oxford. So they've got to be a little bit careful with what remains in this game. Dembele to Taiwo. Oxford knocking around the ball nicely, but we do win it. It's with O'Donnell, who has, well, 16 passing. He looks to pick out Stephen Gold and his 5 finishing. He's not got the pace to get on that, has Stephen. And well, the ball is going to bounce through to the keeper, and then they are going to go route 1. Oh my word, what has just happened? The ball came down with snow on it after their keeper lumped it forward. O'Shea, I think it was for them, smashed it against the crossbar. McDonald collected, and now a penalty's been given. What is going on here? Lewis O'Donnell is the man who's allegedly given it away. Now we look at McDonald. He had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Can he save a penalty from Taiwo? No, he can't. Turned into a rapper for a second there. It's 3-2. I mean, this is a classic. Not really the classic that I want. I'd take a 6-0. 6-0 would be a good classic result. This is 3-2. It's one for the neutrals. Neither team is having a lot of fun. They've scored from the penalty spot. I'm going to shout demand more, and immediately a highlight begins. Maybe I shouldn't have shouted demand more. Maybe I should have just shouted encouragement. We concede from this. I will blame it on the fact that I was demanding and not a motivator. Collins with the ball for them. Gives it out to Long. Not sure who that was. I guess it's Booty stepping out and giving Dembele space to get into. He gets in behind. He lays it off to O'Shea. Karamoko Dembele has had a fall from grace in this save game. He was part of Oxford's team that got promoted last year. And he's just been part of that goal there. Regan Booty did not need to go and close down that ball there. And in doing so, left himself out of position. Dembele gets to the byline, pulls it back. Far too simple. With that, Oxford draw level in this game. And despite spells of dominance, suddenly Oxford on top. Of course, their XG here is inflated by the penalty. So we can't read into that too much. In terms of how I want us to play, I'm going to just get us to up the tempo and how we move a little bit quicker. And out of possession, I kind of want to press higher and press harder. But I think if we're going to do that, probably should look to make some subs. Nesbitt's not been good here. I'm going to bring in Cannonier. Still looking for a goal on his return to the club. This would be a good time to get it. Against their tiring defence as well, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to move Cannonier onto the left-hand side where their 2 defenders on bookings are. Maybe try and focus them a little bit. Elsewhere, Duffy's coming back from injury, but is fit enough to play in this game, so we're going to bring him in at centre attacking mid. There's a temptation to make all 3 subs here, but I think we'll keep one in our back pocket just for now and see how we get on. Looking at things here, it's actually 3 members of Oxford's back 4 that are on bookings, and 2 of them now are actually on the side that Cannoneer isn't on. So we'll swap them back. Oh, what do I want to change? I mean, 3-3 would probably be a good result here, but having been 3-1 up, it's hard not to look at it as a thrown away result, and while 3-3 might not even be how it finishes. The ball is cleared, gold in possession. I assume that is Oakley making a run. It's Duffy, in fact, who is equally a pacey player. Cannoneer running from deep, can't quite get there. This game is opening up in the midfield, and suddenly it's with Conti, who is hacked down by Taylor. He might be in trouble as the last man there. He is in trouble as the last man there. You don't see professional fouls in Football Manager very much where players get a straight red like that. He has got one there, and with it, my hands are a little bit tied. I'm just thinking about what I want to do. There is a real temptation for me here to just take off Sula and play like this, but actually what I think we'll do is we'll keep Fuad Sul on the pitch and take off O'Donnell instead. Butterworth, we'll just switch to, you know what, we'll switch Butterworth to a deep line playmaker. Sula can stay on centre mid on defend, and then Lewis Shipley is going to come in and play centre-back for us. Yet to make an appearance for us, but a very capable player. And, well, with Terry Taylor now out, Lewis Shipley will get league games this year. I feel like at 3-3, this is a gamble, but I kind of want to keep things going forward. I kind of want to believe that we could still make something happen. I'll tell you what I am going to do, actually. We're going to not look to play the ball out of defence, hit early crosses, play direct, distribute it to the wing-backs and let them just clear the ball up the field quickly. Out of possession. We'll drop deeper a little bit. Oh, I feel like this is a game now that has a bottle written all over it. We were 3-1 up. It was going so well. A red card isn't ideal. If they'd scored that free kick from there, I would be livid. I mean, it's still not clear. Fenton hits it. And now I am livid. It's Karamoko Dembele again. It's I'm having a crisis here. It's 4-3. How good is Karamoko Dembele? That is now what I'm wondering. I thought when this free kick was saved, I was thinking, good, that's the end of the highlight. We can close that chapter, but we didn't deal with it. Fenton had an effort. McDonald's save there is really, really good. There's just no one there to help him. For people wondering how Karamoko Dembele's doing, I mean, he's a very, very good player. Good for this level, for sure. Either-footed. How much did they sign him for? They got him on a free from Bristol City. He's not as good as I've seen him in some FM saves, but today he is putting in a man-of-the-match performance, which is just a bit upsetting. I mean, at this point, we've instantly conceded, so I'm going to undo some of the changes that we've done. We were already fairly attacking, and with us now down a man, I've kind of just got to hope that we can maybe make something happen. But there is no expectations here. This is a game where we looked good at one point. We don't look any good anymore, do we? It's been a bit of a struggle here. That said, I mean, there is still time. There is a highlight. Duffy, Cannoneer, could he get his first goal back at the club? Oh, the keeper saved it. It was such a good chance as well. I was about to say that's probably the last chance of the game, but there is a highlight. Could we get another opportunity to make it 4-4? We are down a man. We are committing men forward. Our midfield is barren, but we've kind of just got to go and hope that we can make something happen. O'Shea now for them. I feel like the opportunity to get a draw here, we've just witnessed be missed by Cannoneer. Maitland sat on the bench thinking, boss, why didn't you put me on? I could have got the goal for us. I'm sat with my head in my hands. It's going to finish 4-3 here. Oxford are a good side. I do feel like we've bottled that quite badly, and I do just feel sad. So after that, we've got to go and dust ourselves down. We've got Liverpool's under-23s in 3 days' time. I'm going to use that as a chance to rotate my team. So Dylan Crow Fan Club, your boy's probably playing in the next game. In fact, you can see here, I kind of have a best 11, which is this team here, and then I do have my rotated best 11, which is this team here. We are in a position where we kind of have 2 ready-made 11s for kind of midweek games. Still a very, very strong team. Cannoneer will play against his former club. I kind of want to play Quanta in this game as a former Liverpool FC youngster who was released from their academy. Maybe those two can get some retribution. Hopefully we can get a win today. After that last match, well, I hope we can win one match today. I was so happy at 3-1. I was so happy with the 5 finishing, and it's all just been ripped away from me. Right, it's 3 days away. We're going to get into that game. Don't go anywhere. Let's beat our fierce rivals, shall we, in our first clash against them, even if we are just playing their youth team. So one thing that I totally forgot to mention before the previous game, I was too excited about Stephen Gould's 5 finishing. Also, please don't keep count of how many times I've actually mentioned it today. It's far too many. But the thing that I needed to talk about was actually something a little more important, really. That is the fact we've signed a new contract with FC United. It is a 2-year extension to 2032. And on top of that, I'm now studying for my National B licence. I was able to request that before our finances went into the red. So that's good news. It means that my manager will theoretically get some better attributes over time. As you can see, not a great goalkeeping coach, and also I only have 1 adaptability, which is basically my ability to find employment in a foreign league, which, I mean, for this save game probably isn't that big of a deal. Also, by having 1 adaptability, I can claim that when I mispronounce foreign names, and even some English names, let's be honest, I'm role-playing as my manager with 1 adaptability. I only know how to speak English, and yeah, it's all role-playing. It's definitely not me just being incompetent. And while speaking of me being incompetent, we need to bounce back today. I want to win in the EFL trophy. Yes, it's not a big, super sexy competition, but a win here pretty much guarantees us a spot in the knockouts. And we are taking on a Liverpool youth team that, as I've already mentioned, Cannonier and Quantza come from. Players who were told they weren't good enough, that they were never going to succeed at Liverpool. They're now with us. They've developed well. They've performed well. I'm sure they want to get one over on their former clubs. And elsewhere, it's a chance for us to play the likes of Dylan Crowe at right back, who hasn't yet played for us in League One, but has played in a couple of the cup games. And also a rare appearance for Jones. It will be his 2nd of the season. He did play in the previous EFL trophy game that we were in. Of course, still waiting for his first league game. I feel like we need to try and give him a match at some point so he can continue to have played at every level that we've managed at during our time of Park to Prem, going back all the way, of course, to the Three Bridges years. Now, in terms of Liverpool's under-23s, probably a few players that we should be aware of. Players like Mikel Perez, he's not bad. I'm not sure what the rules are regarding them playing players over the age of 23 in their team, but I'm looking through some of their better youngsters here, desperately hoping they can't all play against us. Some of these are fully capped by like national teams and yet are just chilling in the under-23s. This might end up being a pretty difficult game. I saw that Liverpool lost their first game of this competition. Obviously, we're going to hope that we can do what Crewe did and beat them. Worth noting, Crewe only got 2 points for the win because they won on penalties. And the EFL trophy, for whatever reason, has penalties even in the league games, and you only get 2 points if you win and 1 point for losing a shootout. Yeah, I really hate what they've done with this competition and some of the weird rules. Of course, alongside the likes of Crowe and Jones, there is also Maitland playing today up top with Cannonier. Really nice just to be able to give some of the household names some regular minutes and also a chance to start in a live commentary. Fully appreciate this isn't the super sexy league game that we just had, but it is the kind of match that allows me to show you a little bit more of the squad, some players that don't necessarily get thrown into the spotlight all that often, and just see how they do. I mean, let's be honest, you're all here to see if Dylan Crowe can get another assist for the season. He's got like a seasonal quota where he must get an assist every year, and I'm kind of terrified that he will just get one to keep the meme alive and to keep it going here. Anyway, we've got called into some defensive action, but we have dealt with it well, and now in possession of the ball of our own, we're going to lump it forward to Oakley Cannonier. He takes it down, he hits it. It's his first goal since he's returned to the club. It's a goal against his former side. It's been mentioned in the comments section a lot, but for people who maybe didn't hear about it, Cannonier was the ball boy who gave the ball quickly to Trent for the quick free kick taken in that infamous comeback where Liverpool took the quick corner to Origi. And yeah, Cannonier, the ball boy, not kind of holding back any punches here against his former club, in a club that you could argue he's a little bit of a legend for how he got the ball back to Trent. He's got one. I mean, he'll probably want a hat-trick now. He probably should get a hat-trick in this game as well, really, to prove a point. I'm hoping, of course, for a lot of our first-team players here, playing in this game, maybe gives them a little bit of a confidence boost so that when we do call upon them in the league, they can hit the ground running. Obviously, match sharpness, always good to maintain with players, but equally, just giving them minutes in competitive matches, even if it is, you know, competitions like this, is only ever going to be a good thing. Well, speaking of which, I thought for a second there Maitland was going to pick out Cannonier, but the ball was dealt with well. Liverpool now looking to bring the ball forward on this near side with Reynolds. Can we force them wide? Can we put in a tackle? We can. Quantza wins the ball. Would quite like to see Quantza score a header against Liverpool after he was released from them. What I don't want to see is Jones giving away the ball there. It's Reynolds bringing it forward, and then Jones just fouls him down and gives away a penalty. I realise that having Jones and Dylan Crowe on the right-hand side of our team is probably asking for a red card and a penalty to be given away. It's happened. They've scored the resulting penalty. It's 1-1. How long were we ahead in that game? 2 minutes. 14 minutes gone, 2 goals already. Dylan Crowe's in possession. He's going to play it forward. It's not the best pass I've seen him do in FC United colours. I will level with you. And now Liverpool are bringing it forward with Johnson. He plays it short, though, to Haynes, who reads the ball well. Cannoneer, can he pick out Maitland? He can. Unfortunately for us, Kepa... Wait, is that Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal? That can't be. It cannot be Kepa Arrizabalaga in goal for their team. I refuse to believe... Are they... They're actually playing Kepa in goal against me. I mean, he's definitely not under 23. That's all I'm going to say. I cannot actually believe that Kepa Arrizabalaga is in goal for them. And now Eccles has got injured. Oh no, that is actually annoying. Right, we're going to bring in O'Donnell and I'm going to move Jones to centre mid on defend. I feel like O'Donnell hasn't necessarily hit the ground running yet. Maybe this is a game where he can build up a bit of fun, build up a bit of confidence, and maybe show us what he's capable of on off the bench against what I thought theoretically would be weaker opposition. As it turns out, might not even be weaker opposition after all. Gamero for them. Plays it down the line to Johnson. One option in the middle to pick out. It's the number 47. Alonso at the edge of the box. Quansah, Crowe. What is happening? Get it away from danger. I don't like what I'm seeing. Liverpool bringing it forward again. It's Johnson on this far side. Plays it into Reynolds. He heads over. Liverpool have created a lot going forward. I really am curious just to take a look at who they've got in their team for this game. So up top, they've got Anibal Alonso. He's a very good striker. If he was loan listed, I'd totally be going in for him. He kind of looks, I was about to say championship quality. Yeah, he got 13 goals last year for Blackpool, who were relegated. Elsewhere in their team, they've got this 18-year-old Guillermo, who looks, well, absolutely phenomenal. Let's be honest, he's a really, really good player. I was kind of hoping Liverpool would play a rotated team against us. I had a sneaking suspicion, given the XG, given the chances that they'd created, that maybe they did have a good team. Turns out their team is full of a few really, really talented players that are probably a tiny little bit better than even our best players. So maybe I should be happy that it's only 1-1 at the break. Maybe we could still win this game against the odds. Jones plays it forward. Cannoneer looked offside, but it isn't even going to get to him, so we don't need to worry about that. Quansah wins a big header. Fraser can't get on the end of it. Now it's Johnson for them, dinking it into Guillermo, the Colombian, the 18-year-old. He's through on goal. We've already seen him. He's very good. It's almost as if me clicking on him at half-time made the game go, so you've noticed this guy? Let us make him score against you. I wonder if I hadn't clicked on him, would he have missed it maybe? That's what I'm going to tell myself could have happened. He bursts through the middle. It's a really good finish in the end. McDonald made to look like a mug. He dinks it through. And it's simply Liverpool 2, FC United 1. Not the best game as far as I'm concerned. Maitland has really struggled in this game, so we're going to bring in Stephen Gold. Elsewhere, a little bit concerned with Duffy. He's furious, in danger of losing his discipline, and equally, he's coming back from injury. So with our third and final sub, I think we'll just bring in Richards here. Of course, this isn't a game that is going to ultimately decide our season. It's not the most significant match in the world. I was really hoping we could avoid defeat, but Liverpool at the moment, they've been the better team. They've scored that penalty. And as things stand, we are going to be third in our group going into the final game, which would mean that we get knocked out. But don't take your seat. It might not be over. Shipley hits it against the post. Really nearly made it 2-2 with 10 minutes left. Just as a reminder, there is no draw here. It would go to a shootout. And with 5 minutes left, we might as well just go for this game now. Haynes, get forward. Dylan Crowe, not seen a lot from you today. Get forward too. We're going to move Fraser into a centre attack in mid-possession. Jones and O'Donnell going to play together in the middle. We've got to throw men forward. We've got to try and make something happen. Pass it through the middle. Hit early crosses. We're going to just try and play as narrow as we can here and puncture a hole through the centre of this Liverpool team. But with not a lot of time left, not sure we can expect it to happen. And well, unfortunately for us, in our first ever game against Liverpool as FC United, we have lost. I mean, the only silver lining I can really take is that Cannoneer and Quansah against their former club didn't embarrass themselves. But 2 defeats in 2 games today, not the best of episodes. Definitely peaked in the intro with the 5 finishing. So not the ideal result for us today. The good news is a couple of our upcoming games should be fairly winnable. So I'm hoping we can bounce back. MK Dons are in 24th, Lincoln in 19th, and then Crew in 9th. Games that, well, at least the first two certainly we'd look at as games that we can win. Beyond that, a few more mid-table teams as well, where maybe we could build up a little bit of momentum, or maybe what we've witnessed today is the beginning of the end of what's been a relatively solid start to the season. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, do drop a like on it. We'll be back again tomorrow with more. As I said in the intro, drop a like on things. Stephen Gold hit 5 finishing. It's the most special thing I've ever seen. We're going to end just staring at it. Drink it in. Enjoy it. Knowing my luck, it will drop to 4 before tomorrow. I'll hope that's not the case. Come back to see if it maintains itself. I really hope it does. That would be really sad, wouldn't it, if it's at 4 tomorrow. Right, no, PMA, positive mental attitude. Tomorrow's a new day. We're going to win some games. Stephen Gold will still have 5 finishing. I'll see you guys then. I'm out.